Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day whenever you get a chance to hear this. I want to just say sorry. It feels like it's been a few days since I've posted a video, and it has, and that's because my last two videos got interrupted, and then I was having an issue with my storage. So anyways, I'm essentially, this will be a redo of a video, a talk I did last Friday. So, however, I believe it's a very important subject, and that's why I wanted to make sure I get it out there and redo it. So, anyways, essentially the subject of this video is going to be on abundance. And this is major, folks. And this is at the root of a lot of our issues right now as a society, as a world. And the world controllers are pushing a false view on abundance. They're pushing the opposite of it. They're telling us constantly that we're running out of resources. They're telling us constantly that we're running out of oil, running out of water, all the animals are dying off, we're losing all the forests and all this stuff, on and on and on. Which it is interesting to note that where some of those issues are actually happening, they're the ones responsible for it. They're the ones that own the corporations raping and pillaging the earth. So just keep that in mind. Because see, folks, what they do is they blame it on us. They destroy, then they blame it on us. It's like they were some kid you were friends with in elementary school, and they thought it'd be a great idea to go start a fire in like an old shack or something. Then when it caught on fire and it's burning down, all of a sudden they're going and telling the firefighters, oh, well, yeah, it was him that did it. I didn't do nothing. It was his fault the whole time. Oh, in fact, it was my whole group of friends here. They're the ones who did it. They're liars. They're despicable, disgusting, filthy piles of trash. These hooligans, these WEF demons. Folks, this world is abundant. The whole design of creation is abundance. Folks, I want to give you a simple explanation of how I describe the source. You could call it God, the divine, the creator of all. It doesn't really matter. If you've ever seen the Fibonacci spiral, folks, therein lies in the key to God, to the explanation of God. See, God is a vast consciousness, and we are a fractal of that source. We are a fractal of that mind. We are essentially God experiencing God's creation. That Fibonacci spiral perfectly sums up God. God is that point at where the Fibonacci spiral starts, and it continues to spiral and expand forever into eternity. Now, God is that full Fibonacci spiral also, and that never-ending creation or never-ending expansion. That is all God. But that gives you the point of it, where it started at a point and it just spread out and it continues to spread out. See, there is no shortage, folks, of abundance in this realm. That is all an illusion of these magicians, these dark magicians. Because see, folks, we're all magicians. We are all conscious energy beings. We are all directly interfaced in with the quantum field, which gives us magic-like powers. If you understand how to use your words, how to use your energy, your intentions, your emotions, then you can hack the quantum field, folks. It's as simple as that. See, these demons that run this realm, they know how to use it, but they do it for dark, nefarious purposes. And in fact, a lot of times there's limits on what the dark can do. So what they do is they trick us into collectively manifesting their desires and their plans. And they do that through entertainment and media and the news. So just, I'm building a baseline here, folks. I hope you're keeping all this in mind, and I'm sure most of you understand all this. To somebody that's never listened to this before, it sounds like hogwash, but they're just ignorant, and that's fine. It's just they don't know what they don't know, or they're caught under their brainwashing they got through government, which would be through education or universities or whatever, or on the other end through religious indoctrination and brainwashing. And they believe they really truly believe that the creator of all is this old dude sitting on a throne in heaven with with his book of judgment in one hand and angels singing and trumpets blaring and Lucifer sitting on his right hand. Wait, what? No, he's not. Well, that's what it said in the book of Job. Yeah. At least Satan, well, let's be real. Satan and Lucifer are two different entities. But, yeah. Good old Satan, he shows up and God asks him, what have you been up to? Well, I've been here and there, on the earth and back again. And, and that starts their whole little piss contest about who can fuck the most with Job and destroy him and get him to still claim worship, I mean, that's the oldest book in the Old Testament, folks. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, I can't believe people actually buy into this Old Testament God. It's amazing. But anyways, I digress. Back to the subject at hand. So abundance. We are constantly told by this cult of the climatists that we're running out of everything and there's too many people. See, these disgusting people have been eugenicists for quite a while. It's just they didn't have the power and the technology to carry out their dismissal, if you get my meaning, like they do now. They're disgusting, folks. See, they don't understand the universe. They don't understand how all this works. See, there is no shortage or needs for those that interface with the quantum field, that understand how this realm operates. We are constantly told that we're running short on everything, that these people are going to have to control us and control resources and manage them so that we don't run out. Well, it's all lies, folks. Let's look at one of the biggest lies that we've been told our whole life. Good old dinosaur fuel. Yes. What you power up your car with is dinosaur fuel. And I'm being a smartass, and you know what that means, but maybe we need to use a little code speak here. Okay? Because this is a touchy subject. Because this happens to be one of the largest, if not the largest industry on Earth, that these demon sacks of shit control humanity through. See, they lie to us. I've known for a long time, folks, what oil really is. There used to be this guy I listened to, went back 30 years ago. When I was in my 20s, I used to listen to this radio show all the time on a regular basis. It was by a guy called Stan Monteith. And he used to talk about these powers running the earth. He called them the Brotherhood of Darkness. Well, Stan Monteith had regular guests that were insiders embedded in these industries and such. Well, one of these guys, his name was Whitney, and I'm not going to say his last name or what company he worked for, because even though it was 30 years ago, I'm sure that this is censored information. Well, he was an insider in one of the biggest oil companies on earth. In fact, he was one of the top executives. And he would secretly go under the show, and I'm sure that was a pseudonym he used. It wasn't his real name. And he would always explain what they were going to do with the price of oil, how they were going to rig the prices. He was always spot on. That's how I knew this guy was not a liar. Every time he'd come on and say, hey, in the next month or two, you're going to see oil prices spike. They're going to cut production in Saudi Arabia, and there's going to be this issue going on and that issue, and you can take it to the bank. And sure enough, it would happen. Or he'd say they're going to go ahead and lower the prices on oil. They have an overabundance of it. They need to get some of it out, so they're going to flood the market. Or they're going after, this company or this country or whatever, so they're going to flood the market. So you're going to watch prices drop over the next month or two. And every time this guy was right. Well, you guys want to know the biggest secret he let in on ever? That, like I said, you are not going to be told this stuff anywhere, because this is part of the magical illusion they've woven around you. Oil being a dinosaur byproduct. BS. Folks, it is a byproduct of the earth, of the earth's mantle. It is a renewable resource. Not what they say, that once it's gone, it's gone. They're liars, folks. They're absolute liars. See, they have to keep up this lie because it's the main resource they use to control us all. I mean, you can destroy nations over this. Folks, are you listening to what I'm saying? This guy claimed, and like I said, he'd proven himself time and time again, that oil is a renewable resource. And this has been proven by, there have been oil fields drained dry, that they've come back to them 10 years later, whatever, and they've filled up again. There's oil again to pull out. And it's because, folks, as above, so below. If you don't yet understand this, folks, my God, the Hermetic laws are demonic. Oh, that's Satan's tricking us. Folks, the Hermetic laws are simply the explanations on how this realm works. Learn them now. If you don't understand them, then you're never going to understand anything. See, they understand this. That's why these teachings were passed down through the mystery schools, folks. Because they didn't want most of humanity to know this stuff. They want you, a dumb sheep, with barely enough information to just get by and survive and make them money and build their societies, build their buildings and their structures and systems. You're just a human resource. They tell you to your face all the time. You're an animal. You're a sheep. You're cattle. Oh, that's what your buddies that most of you champion. Those the OT clan, if you get my meaning. Oh, yeah. They're involved in all this directly. In fact, one of their oldest bloodline families happens to be the ones that has your country and you in debt slavery through their Babylonian money system. So, folks, oil is a renewable resource. As above, so below. Oil is like the blood to a human. Or at least it's like a fluid like that your joints use and stuff. The earth is similar. The earth is a living entity. And the tectonic plates and all that, they shift around and all that. Well, there's a lubrication within the earth. The earth is lubricated like the human body. That's the oil that we extract for our own use. And it is produced within the earth, folks. Now, I'm not saying that we can just, use oil nonstop and then I'm not saying that it flows back or it produces quicker than we use it. I'm not saying that. However, it is an abundant source all over. There's so many untapped or tapped resources of it that they've already... When I lived in northern Colorado, folks, they found oil amounts, they said, that rivaled some of the greatest oil fields in Saudi Arabia. I lived out in northern Colorado, and all around me, they were drilling wells, thousands of them, new ones, every year, all around where I lived. And they were just capping them, folks. They were capping them. I'm telling you, it's all a scam. It's all a scam. I'm not saying oil's easy to get. I'm just saying that we have the technology to get plenty of oil. In fact, the United States does not need foreign oil. It's all a lie and a scam. These cultists of the climate type have been railroading all of us. And see, their robber barons, their old money central bank buddies are using them to push their agenda to continue to control us through this earth-producing element. Food, another thing we're lied to about. They say they have to make everything GMO now to make enough food for the world. It's all BS, folks. It's all BS. See, there's plenty of food in the world, or we could produce plenty of food. A lot of it's because we've been conditioned not to produce food. Do you get this? Once again, they control the supply. So they lie. See, folks, there used to be a time when everybody raised chickens. Everybody had home gardens. What you would get from the larger farms was what you couldn't produce on your own property. Now, I get you live in the city and you live in an apartment. You're not growing shit. I get that. However, there are community gardens you can go seek out to grow. Get your own little plot. Sometimes they ask you to donate some money or to pay a small fee. It's not a big deal, folks. And I get most of your HOAs have banned raising chickens on your property. Well, fuck, people. I tell you, those HOAs need to be tossed the fuck out. They're part of this. Don't you get it? It's all these same demonic people. It's a web of people controlling our society. They're embedded in our schools, in our courts, in our police stations. They're politicians, they're lawyers, and they're all connected, and they're initiates of darkness. And they all look out for each other, and they all hold us down. Folks, we have the technologies to build. We could build food raising multi-level systems. Organic, not needing pesticides. See, folks, it's all a lie. Everything's a lie. They're poisoning us on purpose. They don't need to do GMOs. Folks, 40 years ago, everything was organic for the most part. Yes, you had some, weed killers and sprays, but they weren't putting the weed killer in the seeds, in the plants, like they do now to directly poison us. You could still wash them off, wash them in some citric acid, like some a lemon juice mixture to get the pesticides off the outside of the vegetables. Now it's inside. There's nothing you can do to take it out. You're consuming it no matter what. And this is on purpose. Remember what I said? They want to dismiss a lot of people. It's all part of the plan, folks, because they're eugenicists. Another resource, folks, they use against us that they lie about. Water. Oh my God, we don't have enough fresh water. Oh, you can only water your garden or your lawn twice a week. Once again, when I lived in Colorado, we dealt with this on a daily basis. And that state's really going to be in bad shape here soon with all of the people that moved into that state and destroyed it, unfortunately. That's why we moved to North Carolina, to the mountains, to get away from everybody. Because Colorado was going down the shitter real quick. But I remember in the early 2000s when there was massive droughts in Colorado and everybody through the whole state was on water allocation, on water limitations. And that's because they base it on the rain flow, or the rainfall, the snowfall, the snowpack levels in the Rockies, and this and that. And of course, all of that water is all controlled by municipalities who are controlled by these people. And they lie. Once again, we're always lied to, telling us there's a shortage. Now, hey, yes, there could be a shortage of the snowfall, of the rainfall. But here's the thing, folks. We have the technologies to pull water out of the atmosphere. Every house in the United States could have this technology. You wouldn't even need to drill wells. You have a way that you could pull it out of the atmosphere, especially in very humid states. Imagine how well a device like that would work. And for the coastal states, see, one of the problems with Colorado is that California they own a lot of water rights in Colorado. So a lot of that water had to be allowed to go to Nevada, to the desert, go to all the way to California. And then, you know what California does? They let a lot of that water go right into the ocean because they're freaking idiots. That's why Colorado had short water problems. Bureaucrats, like always. Once again, it's called desalinization, folks. I never understood this even as a kid. You have aircraft carriers that have desalinization plants on them. They don't need to fill up at port with fresh water. They make their own water. A lot of these countries do this. A lot of these desert countries, that's how they survive. They desalinize water. They take out the salt. And the technologies now are very good at it. And they're more cost effective than they used to be. But yet you still have states like California that say, oh, we have no water. Motherfuckers, you're next to an ocean. Well, that costs too much. Oh, yeah, dude, don't talk about cost too much with California. My God. Highest taxes, highest freaking cost of living. and these assholes are saying they can't desalinize water because it costs too much. Yeah, they'll take water from interstates from like Colorado and such that aren't next to the ocean. It's a joke, folks. Everything is a lie. Don't you get it? We have these technologies. We have the technologies for every house to produce its own water from the atmosphere. If it was mass produced, it would be cheap. But they want to control you, folks. Do you not understand where I'm getting at here? See, they control the resource. They need it. They need you to buy your water from the city. That way they can poison you. They can put fluoride and shit in your water. And then they charge you for it. They poison you and charge you for it. And then they'll sit there and keep crying about, we don't have enough for everybody. You can only use it. You can only water your lawn or your garden twice a week. And see, folks, it's all a scam. Just like oil, water's a scam in how they claim it's not unlimited. Another thing, and this one may be the biggest of all, energy. And I guess it ties in with oil and gas a little bit. But I'm talking, this could be natural gas, this could be nuclear, this could be oil, coal plants, all those. They constantly tell us that we got to do renewable resources because we're running out of oil and coal's dirty and nuclear power plants are too dangerous and all these reasons. Folks, we've had the technology for a good 40 plus years to have clean, abundant energy. In fact, let's go further back, folks. Tesla had designed a system to pull electricity out of the atmosphere, out of the ether. Wi-Fi energy. Well, folks, do you know where he learned about that? This one gets me. The Egyptians. And you could go further back to the Atlanteans. See, they understood, they built devices. The pyramids were devices to pull energy out from the atmosphere and to amplify it. The reason why they carried the the Ankh was a device, a rod that allowed them to grab that electricity out of the air. They used them like magic wands. They used it to mesmerize the Egyptian people, to think they were gods, the pharaohs, okay? They understood how to pull electricity out of the air and amplify it. I've already talked about, folks, I did a breakdown of the Ark of the Covenant already in the Bible. It's all a lie. You've been lied to, just like usual. In your book, your good book is a lie, a lot of it. Some truth and some lies. Not the word of God, the word of man. Anyways, we have the ability, folks, we've had it for thousands, tens of thousands of years, to pull electricity out of the atmosphere. You don't need it. You don't need to derive your power from nuclear waste and such. You don't need to derive your power from oils that are produced by the earth. You don't need solar and wind, which is a total scam, folks. I mean, my God, if you're still an adult, you're claiming to be, and you still buy the whole green energy agenda, you're a fool. You're being pimped by these liars, okay? Folks, once again, back in Colorado, we had a solar panel on our house. When they were designing my solar panel, the guy was sitting down there with his computer and he's like doing the dimensions and how much do you guys use? I need all your electrical bills, and he's sitting there doing the numbers and he's like, okay, here's what it's going to be. This is how big your system's going to be, the cost. This is how much it'll produce. And I was just like, well, dude, what if we just throw a couple more panels on there so, we can produce an extra abundance? Because in Colorado, they would have to pay you back what you put back into the grid that you didn't use, right? And he said, well, we have to follow all these regulations. We work with the power company and with the state, the electrical oversight board or whatever the fuck they're called. Some bureaucratic agency that, once again, is part of our slavery. They control this stuff for the people above them pulling the strings. And I was just like, well, why don't we just throw a few more panels on there? Now my system will produce a lot more. Now my bills will go down even more. And he'd be like, well, we can't do that. We're limited on how much your system can produce because we have a partnership with the local power company and with the power commission or whatever it's called. So what I started noticing they were starting to do, I would do little experiments. I would have us cut like our air conditioning, stop using it for on a cooler day where most people just still continue to let it run. We would cut it off. We would use like our basement fan and pull up cold air from the basement and use that instead. I did different things just to see, well, hey man, because our bills were so high in Colorado. I mean, for our gas and electricity and all that. So I was like, hey, let's cut down our bills. They have to give us bigger payback checks for what our system produces that we're not using. Well, you know what they start doing? They started cutting down. I started noticing the solar company started limiting how much our system through the computer because they monitor it all, folks. They started limiting our system itself, besides how many panels were on it and all that. So are you getting what I'm saying here, folks? It's a scam, okay? It's all a scam. People, if everybody could build large solar systems on their houses, or at least those that want to, they could build them big enough that they wouldn't even have a power bill. They put so much more into the grid that would cover their electricity needs. It would offset their gas, their natural gas, and that bill from their, if you have natural gas or whatever else where you live. Well, in Colorado, it was natural gas was the other main power source. Well, if your system produced so much, not only would your electricity be not free because you're still paying on the system, but at least the usage fee would be free, and you would get enough paid back from the grid that it would cover your natural gas bill, right? And see, if you had enough people doing this, folks, and there was the whole point was you could actually save money in the long run, which they lie to you. They say, oh, after 20 years, you're going to start saving this much money. Well, yeah, after 20 years, your panels are all dead, folks. They hardly work anymore. Now you got to upgrade it and redo it again and get a new loan. See, it's all we're all pimped, folks. It's all a scam. And I'm not even going to go into wind power. It's a joke, okay? Folks, we're all being scammed. We have the technologies. They're locked up in DARPA and other agencies that there are usually 40 years ahead of us in technology until we finally see it. It takes a long time till it gets dripped into the public. They have ways that we can pull electricity out of the atmosphere. We have cold fusion. We have many other systems that we could run clean, safe, effective energy for all. We have devices that every house in the world could have their own energy device. See, folks, imagine if every household had its own little mini power plant and its own little water supplier from the atmosphere. Do you see what that would do to humanity? It would free us out of a lot of their clutches. But they can't have that. They got to control all of your resources. That's how you know you're a slave, folks. If you don't yet know you're a slave because you don't have shackles on, you're just ignorant because your shackles are invisible, but they're all around you. So once again, it's all a scam, okay? All of that. Everything they control us through. And I could go into resources like gold and diamonds and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that you think is worth a lot. It's all controlled, folks. What if I told you there were stockpiles of diamonds that these top diamond companies have just hidden away, that if they flooded the market with those diamonds, your diamond would be worth nothing. They have an overabundance of them. They have them stockpiled, and they only allow a little bit to get released at a time. That's how they control the markets and the value of that asset. Once again, diamonds can be used for many things, many industries. But look how much it costs because they control the price. And those happen to be the same companies doing the strip mining back in the WEF, saying that we're all bad, we're destroying the planet, right? Folks, it's time to wake up. Please. You got to understand this. All of these technologies and all these things they design systems to control us. We could be free. Everybody could have abundant food, water, and energy. But they will not allow that, okay? Because it's not as easy to poison us if they didn't control all these resources. When they control them, they can poison us, they can limit us, they can keep us in debt, all these things. So please understand, folks, and I didn't even get into the esoteric things about abundance and into manifestation and all that. I was just simply breaking down systems and how we're being controlled and physical resources, elemental resources. So maybe tomorrow we'll do a part 2 to this so I can go into the metaphysical side of this and also just continue to hammer the nail down and prove to you that they're all liars and that we are being pimped hard. So anyways, guys, it's a Monday. I'm here at work. Mondays are always hellish. So I need to get rolling here, but I do appreciate you guys. Everything that you guys do. I'm still doing that thing where if you want to donate $25, $50, we'll do a Zoom one-on-one. We can talk about any subject you want. $25 will get you half an hour of my time, and $50 will get you an hour of my time. I've done this with other people. We've had amazing conversations, it's my best way to trade something of me that I can give to you, and in exchange for that gift, which can help me build my systems up. Um, I was gonna build a studio in my loft at my house, but I realized it just was not gonna work. It was too cramped. It wasn't. It's not. It has a real low ceiling. It's a cool little house we have. It's a little cabin, but the loft is great, to have a guest stay over. But I realized it wasn't going to work as a studio, so I'm going to have to just kind of work from my regular computer setup for a while. I did get a green screen, and I've been getting some stuff set up. And one amazing family had gifted me a brand new computer and monitor and everything, which has really helped me upgrade my systems. However, it doesn't look like the studio is going to work. I do have an unfinished basement, though, folks. So when I'm talking about, getting this money to build up this platform and this brand, it's one of those steps is to build a studio in my basement. But as you know, that costs a lot of money. So I'm not talking about finishing my whole basement, just one area for a studio room. So that's where I'd like to go next, and but we'll get by with what we got. But if you would like to chat one-on-one with me, and we can talk about any subject you want, candidly, I would love to meet with you. Just send me a DM, message me, and typically the best way to get a hold of me is DMs through Messenger on Facebook. And if you're not with me over on Facebook, Exit the Matrix, please come join me there. That's where most of my traffic and content is produced and released. So anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you, and I'll talk to you later.